Hello, listeners. Have you ever confidently closed your grammar textbook, felt completely ready to watch an American movie without subtitles, and then immediately realized you have absolutely no idea what anyone is saying?
Oh man, yeah. That is like the universal shock to the system for almost anyone learning a language.
It really is. I mean, you spend months, maybe years, memorizing these formal structures.
Right, you master the perfect present, perfect continuous tense or whatever.
Exactly. But then the reality of how language actually lives and breathes in the wild hits you, and it feels like an entirely different dialect.
It completely does.
And that is the core learner's problem, right? Like,
Uh,
textbooks are absolutely fantastic for teaching you the architectural foundation of a language.
yeah, they give you the formal, structured vocabulary you need to write an essay or, send a professional email.
But the second you step out of the classroom and hit the streets or turn on a modern TV series, that formal architecture is hidden behind a layer of informal slang.
Exactly, and that slang doesn't just change a few words. I mean, it completely changes the energy and the underlying meaning of the sentences.
The textbook essentially goes right out the window. But do not worry. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to learn how to bridge that gap and instantly understand the informal American slang used in real life. Welcome to Everyday English Flow, daily English practice, natural speaking, and effortless listening flow.
It's great to be here doing this because bridging that gap is exactly where true, effortless fluency lives.
So true. And today, we are going to master 4 distinct real-world conversation scenarios, which will reveal our total of 15 crucial American slang words.
And remember, we are your sole information givers today. You don't need 1,000 new street words. Top language experts, like the renowned linguist Maddie, believe that mastering these specific words is the absolute shortcut to C1 level fluency.
It really is all about understanding the cultural psychology behind the words. We are going to look at the textbook version of the situation, figure out why it sounds so robotic, and then transform it into the natural language native speakers actually use.
Yeah, and we'll explore the mechanics behind these words too, like why they evolved, how they function, and the specific emotions they're meant to convey.
So let's dive into our very first scenario. We are starting with an experience that creates a lot of anxiety, which makes it a huge breeding ground for slang. The academic grind.
Oh yeah, the stress is real there.
Totally. So you're stressed, you are studying for a massive test, and a friend is trying to calm you down. The formal textbook version of this supportive conversation usually sounds something like this. Hey, my friend, relax. You don't have to study so hard. I'm sure you will do great tomorrow.
Which is structurally a flawless English sentence.
Yeah.
But if you were sitting in a university library at midnight, panicking over a biology exam and someone said that to you, it would sound almost alien.
Right. Hey, my friend, sounds like you're reading a 19th century letter.
Yeah, it's just too rigid for an emotional moment. In informal American English, especially in casual settings, that gets immediately replaced.
So what's the natural alternative?
Well, the most common replacement is dude. Now, while it has historically been used to refer to a man, its usage has broadened significantly as a general term of address.
Interesting.
Yeah, though it still carries a distinctly casual, laid-back masculine energy in its descriptive form. For example, if you wanted to describe someone's easygoing personality, you might say, Jason was a cool dude.
Jason was a cool dude. I like how that instantly lowers the formality. Jason is sort of our baseline here for a relaxed person.
Exact.
But the next word in our robotic textbook sentence is relax. And honestly, when I am stressed, if someone gives me a direct command to relax, it almost has the opposite effect.
Oh, totally. It feels a bit too authoritative. It lacks empathy.
Right. So what do native speakers actually say?
The native slang replacement here is chill. And this is fascinating because it's a temperature metaphor.
Oh, like hot and cold.
Exactly. When people are stressed or angry, we associate that with heat, blood boiling, hot-headed. So to invite someone to lower their emotional temperature, we tell them to chill.
That physical metaphor makes it so much easier to remember. You are literally cooling down the situation.
Yeah, and it applies to environments too. You could say the bar has a pretty chill atmosphere. It means the vibe is incredibly relaxed and undemanding.
Ah, I see. Now, what about the phrase, study so hard?
Yeah.
The textbook says you don't have to study so hard.
Right.
But studying hard right before a test feels like a very specific kind of panic that needs its own word.
It absolutely does, and that word is cram. If you cram for an exam, you are studying intensely in a very short period of time.
Cram. That sounds aggressive.
It is. Think about the spatial mechanics of the word.
Hmm.
If you're going on a month-long trip and you only have a tiny backpack, you have to use physical force to push all those clothes inside.
Right, you're cramming them in.
Exactly. English takes that physical action and applies it to your cognitive load. The night before a test, you're trying to force a semester's worth of knowledge into your brain at the last minute. You are cramming.
That makes perfect sense. It is not just about the act of studying, it's about the lack of space and time.
Exactly.
Okay, the final part of our formal sentence is, I'm sure you will do great tomorrow. How do we elevate do great to a C1 level standard?
To do very well on a test, you would say you are going to ace it.
Wait, let me unpack that. Isn't an ace a playing card?
It is, yeah.
How does a gambling reference or a playing card translate to academic success?
It's actually a brilliant example of how language borrows concepts of victory from one domain and applies them to another.
Okay, I'm listening.
In almost every standard card game, the ace is the absolute highest card you can play. It is the unbeatable hand, the ultimate winning move.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, so by analogy, if you play your highest possible card on an academic test, you achieve a perfect score. You triumph completely. You could confidently say, I aced my math exam.
Wow, okay. So if we reconstruct that entire robotic interaction, instead of, hey, my friend, relax, you don't have to study so hard, I'm sure you will do great tomorrow.
Right.
The natural native speaker says, hey, dude, chill, you don't have to cram, I'm sure you will ace the test tomorrow.
Instantly authentic. It carries the right emotional weight and the perfect level of informality.
Keep listening, because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn how to sound just as natural when talking about parties and socializing.
Exactly, because what happens after you ace a test, you celebrate.
You definitely do.
And the social scene, the weekend party environment, is where slang evolves faster than anywhere else.
Let's transition right into that second scenario. Imagine you are recapping your weekend with a friend.
Okay.
The textbook gives us this incredibly dry paragraph. Last night's party was amazing. We went crazy. Your friends were really cool.
Once again, grammatically flawless, but entirely lacking in human vitality. It sounds like a police report of a social gathering.
It really does.
Yeah.
Let's inject some actual energy into this. The textbook uses amazing. But amazing is a word we use for magic tricks or Grand Canyons.
Yeah, it's a bit too broad.
How do native speakers describe a highly enjoyable, high-energy party?
The go-to American slang term is lit.
Lit.
Yeah, the mechanism here is another powerful metaphor, this time based on fire and illumination.
Oh, interesting.
When something is dark, it's inactive. When you set something on fire or turn on the lights, it is suddenly full of heat, energy, and movement.
That makes a lot of sense.
So if an event or even an object is highly enjoyable and vibrant, you say it is lit. For example, if you see an incredibly impressive fast vehicle on the street, you wouldn't just say it is a very good car. You'd say, that car is lit.
It has a buzzing electric energy to it.
Yeah,
The party was lit.
I love that.
Now, what about describing the people?
Right.
The textbook says,
It is. If someone is listening to an incredible new song, they will just nod their head and say, whoa, that music is dope. It signifies undeniable quality.
so the party was lit and the friends were dope. Now for the action.
Let's hear it.
The textbook says, we went crazy. But crazy sounds almost clinical or like a genuine psychological crisis rather than a fun night out.
Right. To capture the actual feeling of losing control in an exciting way, you will frequently hear the word nuts.
Nuts, like peanuts or cashews.
Exactly like that.
How did a snack food become a measurement of intense behavior?
It's a fascinating leap in slang. In this context, it implies being completely out of your mind. Natural slang relies heavily on hyperbole, extreme exaggeration.
Right.
To say you went nuts means you threw away all the normal societal rules for the evening, and it goes beyond just partying. It can mean having wild, impossible ideas.
Oh, like what?
For example, if someone told you their plan to scale the world's highest peak without training, you would say, you are nuts if you think you can climb Mount Everest easily.
You are operating outside of reality. You are nuts. It paints a much more vivid, slightly chaotic picture.
It definitely does.
So our robotic weekend recap transforms from last night's party was amazing, we went crazy, your friends were really cool, to the effortlessly natural last night's party was lit, we went nuts, your friends were really dope.
You can actually feel the rhythm and the energy of the event in that second sentence.
If you are enjoying this effortless listening flow, please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
It really is the best way to help us keep bringing you these deep dives. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Now let's naturally follow the progression of our evening. You're at a lit party, surrounded by dope people, and inevitably the topic turns to attraction and fashion.
Of course it does.
Which brings us to our third scenario, style and romance. And I have to say, the textbook version of this might be the most awkward one yet.
I can only imagine.
Imagine someone trying to describe their partner like this. I love my girlfriend. She is beautiful and she is very stylish. She's also very modest. She has a great sense of style, and she helps me wear things which are very attractive.
Wow. That sounds like a character reference you would submit to a bank for a loan.
I know, right?
It is utterly devoid of romantic or cultural context.
It is incredibly stiff. Let's tackle stylish first. If someone is deeply fashionable today, how is that expressed in modern slang?
The current highly prevalent slang for being stylish is drip.
Drip.
Yeah. If someone has the drip, it means their outfit, their accessories, their entire aesthetic presentation is top tier.
Okay, I could picture that.
The linguistic imagery here is powerful too. It implies that someone's style is so abundant, so overwhelming, that it is literally overflowing and dripping off of them.
Oh, that's such a cool visual.
You could point to a friend who always knows how to put a flawless outfit together and say, I like Susie because she has the drip. Susie is our style icon here.
Susie has the drip. It's a very visual metaphor. But here is where I am a bit confused by the textbook paragraph.
What's that?
He says she is stylish, but also very modest.
Okay. The C1 slang equivalent for modest, quiet, or neutral, specifically in a way that avoids attracting excessive attention, is low-key.
Low-key.
It signifies that something is understated. You can use it for personalities or for events. For example, if a couple decided against a massive, expensive celebration, you would say, the wedding ceremony was very low-key. It was intimate and relaxed.
Wait, I need to push back on this.
Sure, go ahead.
How can let's take Susie, for example.
Yeah.
How can she have the drip, which implies a highly curated, almost overwhelming level of style, but simultaneously be low-key? That feels like a total contradiction.
That is a phenomenal observation, and understanding how those two concepts coexist is the absolute essence of C1 level cultural nuance.
Okay, explain that to me.
Modern aesthetics, particularly among younger generations, highly value the illusion of effortlessness. Think about the concept of stealth wealth.
Right, looking rich without showing off logos.
Exactly. You want to look amazing, you want to have the drip, but the cardinal sin of modern fashion is looking like you are desperately trying to get everyone to look at you.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, you want your style to be undeniable, but your personal attitude to be totally relaxed and unaffected. That is the magic combination, having the drip while remaining low-key.
That is profound. It is an entire generational philosophy packed into two slang terms.
It really is.
Now, what about the word girlfriend? That feels a bit too formal for this effortlessly stylish, low-key dynamic.
The popular, culturally embedded slang replacement for a significant other, a girlfriend, boyfriend, or partner, is bae.
Bae.
Let's spell that out so you recognize it in text. B-A-E.
It is everywhere on social media.
Exactly. It operates as a term of endearment that is much softer and more integrated into digital communication than formal titles.
Like, how would I use it in a sentence?
Well, you might complain to a friend, it's bad when bae does not reply to your texts.
Okay, we have one final piece of this romantic puzzle. The textbook says she helps the speaker wear things which are very attractive.
When a specific look, an outfit, or even a personal detail like makeup is executed perfectly and flawlessly, you say it is on fleek.
On fleek.
That is two words, on and fleek, F-L-E-E-K. It implies absolute precision. You could look at someone's carefully chosen outfit and say, that look is very on fleek.
So we take that robotic bank loan reference of a paragraph and completely culturally translate it.
Let's hear it.
We go from, I love my girlfriend, she is very stylish and modest, to the significantly more natural. I love my bae, she has the drip, she's low-key, and she helps me wear things that are on fleek.
The difference in the speaker's implied personality is staggering. The second version sounds like a real person navigating modern life.
As we wrap up our next 10 minutes of advanced vocabulary, let's bring all of these concepts together with a story about our fourth and final scenario. Desires and disappointments. Because, not every weekend plan works out.
That's the truth. And these stories of disappointment are exactly what we share with our friends on Monday mornings.
Yeah, venting is a universal human experience.
And they are highly emotional, which means they are heavily reliant on idioms and phrasal verbs to convey those feelings.
Here's our final textbook story. I was studying last night, but I was really bored, so my friend suggested going to a bar. I was so excited to dance and drink. I really wanted a bottle of beer, but when we got there, the bar was quiet and empty.
It conveys the facts, but none of the emotional letdown.
It falls pretty flat.
Let's start with studying. Earlier, we talked about cramming, which is the frantic last-minute panic. But what if you just mean regular, everyday academic work?
Right, just the standard routine of doing homework.
For that, you would use the idiom, hit the books. It's a great phrase because it adds a sense of physical action to a sedentary task.
Hit the books.
Yeah, to hit the books simply means to study. You might tell your social circle, this weekend I have to hit the books because I have an exam coming up.
Hitting the books. Okay, so our subject is hitting the books, gets incredibly bored, and decides to escape to a bar.
Sounds like a typical Friday.
The formal text says, I was so excited to dance. But excited feels a bit weak to describe that sudden burst of weekend energy.
It does. When you are operating at a very high level of anticipation, the slang word is hyped.
Hyped?
Hyped. It comes from hyperactive or hyper-thoroughly. It means you are buzzing with an elevated, almost aggressive level of positive energy.
Oh, I like that.
For instance, I'm really hyped about the new Marvel movie. You aren't just looking forward to it, you are actively thrilled.
Hyped. Now, here's a phrasal verb that I think trips up a lot of learners. I really wanted a bottle of beer. How do we express that intense, undeniable desire in casual English?
This is a fantastic expression. If you want something desperately, if the desire is intense and consuming, you say you are jonesing for it.
Jonesing for.
Jonesing, jonesing for.
To me, that always feels like a physical itch that you desperately need to scratch. It is not just a passing thought. It's a visceral craving that completely takes over your brain.
That is precisely the mechanism of the phrase. It is a craving that demands to be satisfied.
Like when you need coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You might be staring at your computer screen at 3 in the afternoon, completely drained, and you tell your coworker, I'm jonesing for a cup of coffee right now. It means the desire for caffeine is the only thing you can focus on.
Okay, so the emotional buildup is huge here in the story. They are hyped to dance. They're jonesing for a beer. They arrive at the venue. And the text says the bar was quiet and empty.
If a place, especially a social venue that is supposed to be lit, is completely lacking in energy, atmosphere, and people, you describe it with a single brutal word. Dead.
Dead. It is the absolute opposite of being lit.
Exactly. It implies that any potential for fun has entirely expired. The bar was really dead last night. It paints a picture of a total echoing disappointment.
Let's hear the final transformation of this tragic tale. The textbook says, I was studying, I was excited, I really wanted a beer, but the bar was empty. The C1 slang version is, I was hitting the books last night, but I was bored. I was hyped to dance, and I was jonesing for a beer, but when we got there, the bar was dead.
You are not just translating vocabulary there, you are translating the momentum of human emotion through idioms. That is effortless listening flow.
I mentioned there's a bonus at the end, and here it is. Let me give you one bonus phrase right now. If a native speaker asks you if memorizing these 15 distinct slang terms was incredibly difficult, you do not just say it was very easy. You smile and say, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. It is a playful, rhyming, and incredibly common native way to say that something requires almost zero effort.
It's just fun to say.
It is, and
Yeah.
it shows that you are so comfortable with the language that you can have fun with it.
Easy peasy. We have journeyed through so many cultural landscapes today. From the anxiety in the classroom to the electric energy of the party scene, through the nuanced aesthetics of modern style, and finally to the emotional letdown of a ruined weekend.
You now have a formidable arsenal of C1-level slang terms and idioms, but the crucial next step is recognition.
Right, actually hearing them in the wild.
Exactly. When you are watching that American movie without subtitles, and you hear someone mention bay or talk about someone's drip or say they are jonesing for something, your brain will now bypass the literal translation and instantly map the true cultural meaning.
If this deep dive helped you unlock that next level of listening and natural speaking, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It truly helps us expand this community.
We really appreciate it.
And we want to see who is genuinely putting in the effort to cross that fluency bridge. To prove you are dedicated to mastering C1 level English, right?
Hmm.
I stay committed in the comment box right now.
I always look forward to seeing that dedication in the community. And since we are checking your commitment, I want to ask one idiom at the end. We are going to combine a few things we learned today.
Ooh, pop quiz.
Just a quick one. If a native speaker tells you they were hitting the books because they were jonesing to ace the test, what exactly do they mean? Write your answers in the comment section.
That is an excellent challenge. You have to decode 3 separate advanced concepts layered into one single sentence.
It is the ultimate diagnostic for effortless listening, and I will leave you with this final thought to consider. Language is a living, breathing, constantly mutating organism. The slang you learned today was largely born from yesterday's street culture and social interactions. But as our world becomes increasingly irreversibly digital, how do you think internet culture and hyper-connected communities will completely change the slang of tomorrow? What will the textbook of the future look like? Keep your ears open and keep practicing.